Good morning and welcome to today's live show. We got to get into some technical analysis for the SPY Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, and Meta going forward, looking at AMC and GME as well today. So we will be going live a pretty decent amount today. We actually might just take a little lunch break and then hop back on later today. We'll see what the market looks like. As of right now, it looks like we're seeing a little bit of a bounce come in for the SPY, trying to land back within that 68% zone for the week, down towards these areas. We do have some probabilities to see some kind of bounce. For the Qs, that's going to be a little bit more of a struggle, so you might need to make a stronger base, and it did make a stronger base. If you just compare the SPY to the Qs would be holding up after this dramatic drop. I mean, the base does look a little better here with some kind of double bottom. We'll see what happens with this throughout the day. Some of the things coming out today would be that Microsoft is having some kind of cyber attack against some of their software, so we're seeing that affect the price of the stock, which weirdly enough, Microsoft looked like a solid trade setup, and I believe that this and Apple were going to be used to actually hold the stock market up. So the fact that it's having this happen today, that might be unexpected, and normally a cyber attack like that would cause you more than a downturn of 1.65%. So I'd really be paying attention to Microsoft today. We could see some interesting moves from that one. We'll see how those cyber attacks affect it. But let's go look over at Apple. And remember, Apple was one of the ones that I said, hey, Apple and Microsoft look like the two that they could really maybe push higher in order to hold the market up. But as Apple does open up in this area, maybe you need some daily expected moves. Those are over on Patreon. And we are heading up into an area which would be considered the first form of resistance, I would say, right towards that 225.84 level. This little box in here that we were able to break through. So we're able to hold up down towards this area. And now we're going to test this area to see if that is going to just turn right back down. So a lot of 30-minute charts saying, hey, we're going to try to bounce here. We're going to try to bounce. We'll see how long that lasts, because if that turns over at any time, it's not going to be good news. If we turn over in the morning, maybe we're setting up some kind of stronger base. But for now, you would say your MACDs pretty much across the board are telling you like, hey, we're going to try to see some bouncing here. But you'll notice that that bounce, it's not leading to anything. So that's the risk of trying to take some kind of bounce when your MACD is down towards lower levels. So me, myself, I did not take anything to the upside for anything today. I did not want to risk any kind of upside play. What I'm more so looking for is this going to continue? Is volatility going to increase? Because volatility, you know, I'm just pointing at some stuff here, but volatility is seeing some very weird behavior, okay? Very, very, very strange behavior here for volatility. Just these random really big spikes down at pretty much 3 a.m. my time. So very interested. Sorry, I keep hiccuping. I'm very interested to see what goes on with this throughout the day, because we are turning down, like volatility is saying there will be some kind of pullback, and you do have that daily chart telling you that you have an 85% chance for an up day in the next 2 trading sessions in the SPY. So if you just look at this wick though, like this is you know, it's strange how we're getting so many things to come to light with corruption across the board, not only in the stock market, and then you see things like this. There was that time where we saw Nvidia with that random spike up and the price was still down here. So we're seeing a lot of funky behavior in the market the last couple of months, and this is just one of those times, because they're going to say this is some kind of glitch or something like that, and then it'll be just wiped off of this chart eventually. Most likely that will happen, but I just want you to see that fishy behavior that is still going on. So that's the risk you're taking. Trading in a market like this is just saying, you know, you have to know that this game is overall rigged in some way, and a lot of the time these type of things are what prove that. And so we have to pay attention to the actual signals very closely. Make sure things are actually going positive. Make sure we're getting confirmations on MACDs. Make sure that we are trading like water and managing our trades. Okay, guys, I think that would be a helpful statement for this morning. So as we do trickle in, make sure to like the stream real quick, and I am just going to pause for one moment, give you guys a second to make sure to be here for the open, but I'm just going to go grab a water real quick. I'll be right back in 1 minute. Make sure to say hi and say that you're here. Make sure to check in for the day so that I can say good morning to you. All right, I'll see you guys in 1 second. Thank you for the big like, Steve. And just like that, we're back. But I just thought that was something interesting to see this morning. We're also seeing the cyber attack. There's a lot of stuff going on, but you see that spike. And if you're like, oh, there were cyber attacks, then why would you see this spike down on volatility? Very interesting behavior there. All right, let's see. European markets, good trading day, but the fear bought when it was 20% down. Nice. Okay, so CrowdStrike actually seeing a bounce back. Is that what's overall happening with that one? SPY actually coming down to lower levels now. Very interesting, guys. This is some crazy, crazy behavior actually right away in the beginning of the day. Tesla still pointing down for now. You got to wait for that thing to point back up. Some kind of big move is coming for Tesla. It has a lot of implied volatility for the month of July. So still expecting some craziness. Amazon dropping off, Nvidia starting to drop off. These are crazy because these type of things are up towards their center line. So if you do see this cross, well, then you can already be testing this and maybe even going down to make a new low. So we do have those daily expected moves. I might pull those up real quick just to have them. 116 level. Okay, so about 116 for Nvidia today. So that means we could set up some kind of double bottom. So don't be faked out if this thing looks like it's crashing down and then it just whips back around that 16 level, because you could be seeing some kind of divergence and that can lead to an overall bigger bounce for Nvidia. So I'd pay attention to that early on this morning. But as we keep seeing these curlovers in a negative territory, just know that no bounce is exactly guaranteed. You have to really manage those trades, guys, okay? Seeing the SPY open up below the weekly expected move, that is a big deal. We can still use it as a resistance. We'll see if this can curl up at any time today. The Q's still below that move. And we noticed that this bounce took us up into that and then rejected from that area. So this is proving to be some resistance at this point. I hope everyone has a great day too, Robert. Don't you think that'd be awesome? Yeah, now we're going to see crazy stuff with Microsoft most likely throughout the day. Got my water. I already drank my coffee. I was up early. I'm lagging a bit. Dang it. Let me see here. My computer's been funky this morning too. Of course. $24 likes to start out the day. Not bad. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Well, a wee bit glitchy. Whoa, Red Baron, thanks for subscribing yesterday. Really appreciate it. All right, let's see what's going on across the board here. We have Amazon dropping down 1.65%. Meta seeing some kind of bounce here, so we're seeing that bounce up. We'll see if that turns back around to make that stronger base. Maybe we actually see some upward pressure if we can make some stronger bases today. Maybe we see that upward pressure next week. We'll pay attention. AMC and GME, let's talk about these for a second. Remember, this has given you the pullback signal. It's now turning it into a reversal signal, into a negative trend. So you still need this thing to turn back up. GME, similar story, right? We're getting deeper and deeper into negative territory. These are curling over 2 hours. So as of right now, you are in a 2-hour pullback on AMC, a little bit more dramatic going into negative territory. See if that can hold up. The problem with all of this is you're getting dailies to cross over. So this can lead to a full-fledged pullback pretty much until earnings, I would say. And then GameStop, you kind of have a similar story of this could just full-fledged pull back even further until we actually see maybe some positive news from AMC. And then we'll pay attention also to its earnings later on down the road. What happened with Netflix? Let's go look at that real quick. Looks like an upward move is trying to happen here. We're trying to use Netflix to head higher. You're getting a cross up with divergence on the 2 hours, so the daily might cross up here. We could see some good positivity. Remember, this is earnings, so earnings is kind of a 50-50 flip. You did have the divergence and stuff, but this would still be, hey, it's all dependent on this right here, and you happen to get good numbers. So Netflix seeing that uptick, which if you're talking about someone who's in competition with AMC or GME and that problem, well, technically they're in competition with AMC, then I would actually say if they want to rig this thing, they send it higher no matter what. But the numbers they did produce were pretty good. So both green on that. But good morning, Dallas. Trevor, adventures with Shogun Solo. It's childly. Tesla. Steve, Microsoft on swap price is different than Robinhood. I think you're going to see a lot more of that type of stuff, man. Don't think that that's even crazy. Now, one thing is, remember that halts are supposed to happen, and this thing's up by more than 5% in 3 minutes. So once again, we're not going to see halts on a stock that is not AMC or GME. So GameStop really shutting down here, 2.3% down as of today. A lot of people on Twitter trying to say, hey, today's the day, today's the day. We do not see those signals as of right now. We really don't. You don't see them. Everything is pointing straight down. And I'm sorry to say that, but now around this level is where I'd really start to pay attention. Remember, the overall pullback from here would be good. Maybe I even want to do something here. See if that lands in like a golden pocket or something. It does. It pretty much land like right above that is your golden pocket. So this could be a good area for us to see some kind of bounce, but is it just going to be a little bit of a boop like this and then it fought again and break through that level? I'd really pay attention if we're closing below 24.56 because we can go test these lows. Just remember the day is always tomorrow until it isn't. Nvidia, it's not really to do with the split. The split is to convince, okay, I'll actually tell you this, Robert. It's been taking a beating ever since the split. The split was a bad decision. No, the split is to convince retail that it's cheaper so you buy more of the stock and then they can rig it to the downside and take all your money at the top. So you notice the split comes in, we see this little pullback into the big bounce, and then shortly after that, once retail has piled in, that's when we start to see turmoil, and then everyone will be like, oh, see, it's coming back, I'm right, and that's just another opportunity for more insiders to sell. It was in this area that we did have the biggest insider selling, so it is a mental game. They're trying to convince you with a cheaper price that, hey, you're a little guy, now you can buy a share of Nvidia, and look, it's doing really well, and then the rich people take that money. That's what happens. That's what happens. You know, someone asked me yesterday, why do people sell? What really convinces people to sell? And I just was like, let's think of this differently. Actually, it's more so that retail is convinced to sell here. The media tells them to sell here. The media will probably tell them to sell here. And then the media will tell them to buy here and buy here because the next upward move's coming and you don't want to miss out, and then rug pull. So it's pretty much the opposite of what they tell you at all times is pretty much what's going to happen. So at this point, you would say, you know, we're going to most likely see, hey, maybe a downward push, but look at that 2 hour really wanting to curl up. So we could see a 2 hour push soon. That's why we want to pay attention to a 30-minute, creating some kind of divergence down here. You kind of have one right here, but is that the strongest base? It still could be. You could still work your way up from here if this thing can go positive, but still the likely scenario, if we are able to roll over, as of right now, the likely scenario is upside still. But if this curls over, then you can test this low, go down towards that 116, go a little past it, create a stronger base. I took a call before earnings yesterday. Yeah, Netflix is trying to curl up on some MACDs here. So just so you're aware, Netflix is curling up on a look at that thing. It's going to start. Yeah. See, this is all just crap, honestly. But you could see this turn up, right? And it happens to be at a price point of, if you believe in some very, you know, good versus evil world, it was at 666 for a second there. And I'm not about that. But the 2 hour was able to curl up. As of right now, that's positive. You see that's trying to go up from here. Big wick down, so I'd just be a little bit worried. 30 minutes, still negative. These things are massive moves very quickly. They'll need to digest. So it makes sense, but that might have just been a money grab for a second, genuinely. Unless we can end the day like kind of curled up, looking like we're closing on the daily above those moving averages, I'm convinced that this was overall some kind of scam. Yeah, Jimmy trying to do it, man. Mara getting a nice pullback here, so that most likely means Bitcoin had its pullback on the 2 hour, and now we're seeing that curl up. So this is actually a great signal for Bitcoin to make an upward move here. just by the way. If you took the swing trading course, that's right, the swing trading course is down in the description for only $50, and you can learn in that course about how to take trades like this little swing trade setup. You're seeing all the good signals here. This is exactly what you're looking for a swing trade. Even with something like Bitcoin, you got to manage that risk if you're doing it on a 2-hour. Very, very close. Keep it close on a 2-hour. But you'll also say, hey, what about that other course? Well, there's another course down there. So there's a swing trading course for $50, and then there's how to trade in any market for $100 right now down in the description. And actually, I think I need to add that course into the description real quick, the swing trading one. But in that course, the other one, the $100 one, you'll learn about these things like divergence and how divergence leads to rejection and then boom, downturn. So this is how you knew a pullback was coming. This is a pullback signal right here. Let me go fix that real quick, by the way. Let me get that in the description for you. Because how are people going to get it if it's not in the description? You know what I'm saying? Jesus, I have to click like a million times to get to where I want to get. Oh, it's in there. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, it's in there. All right, good. Just making sure, but that looks like a good swing trade to me. If you can close on this bar, you still have about 20 minutes left on that bar. Then you got to manage that risk because you're playing in a rigged game. So anytime they can just throw this thing back down, especially on a 2-hour chart for Bitcoin. Alrighty then, take a look at Plug. Let's go look at Plug real quickly. Looking at Plug, we're seeing, wow, a dramatic drop off. So the good part about, you know, looking at these MACDs all the time, if you're doing shorter term trades, is you'll see moments like this, where you get a red bar that says, hey, you know, I'm pretty up high and I might need some kind of pullback. And then what do you start to do? Well, you get a little bounce and then you start to pull back. Right? We're pulling back. We're getting close to that center line, and then that saves you in order to, if you're managing your risk here, that saves you from anything horrible that can happen. Horrible things do happen randomly in the stock market. And what are you noticing today? Well, this told you I am not turning up anymore. The only direction this can go is pullback or even a big drop in case something bad happens. That's something bad that's happening as of right now. What do we notice on the 30-minute here is if you have taken the $100, the how to trade in any market course down in the description, that option strategy for volatile times is in there, and you'll learn about divergences. And what do you have right here? You have a divergence on the MACD, a divergence on the RSI at the same time. So this was your signal right here, way up here towards 321, that you were going to experience maybe a 2-hour pullback. And you notice that right here at this level of 321, the 2-hour was dropping even more dramatically right after that. So we have 321 right at here. So you should have known from this area on that there was high potential for that 2-hour to cross over. It did. It said pullback, and now you saw something crazy, and that's why we manage our risk. Randomly, they do. I'm being genuine. They randomly do these things, but your signals are going to tell you. Right? This signal told me, hey, watch out, something bad could happen. Right now it just looks like a pullback, and then randomly, right? It is random. Oh, well, yes. But I mean, to us, to the retail trader, it would be considered random, Reese. I think that as the retail trader, we don't know why this is happening. The market maker could just be like, hey, tomorrow let's price it down to 256. Let's short sell the crap out of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm meaning to us, it will seem random. But we obviously know there's someone pulling the strings. There's always someone pulling the strings. I mean, why do you think Nvidia didn't really even drop the whole time that there was insiders selling the most there ever was? And then once everyone was like, oh, that didn't matter, and it still went up, then it got rug pulled. It's because they manipulated the price to remain higher so retail would buy it, and then they throw in that big sell order, right? Now, AMC is actually turning up here. Look for that to curl up on a 30-minute first. We got to curl up on a 30-minute first. GME, you got to curl up on this 30-minute first. That would be the first chance of seeing some kind of bounce that could lead into positive territory. You're just a little bit negative here, so you could have a little bit more potential for that lower high. So really pay attention if we do get a bounce here. That's an if, because right now everything's pointing down. If we do get a bounce here, really pay attention if that starts to roll back down, because that could continue the negative trend and you could end up a little bit lower, maybe even down to test 2456. Classic MMs. Oh my gosh. Same thing would go with AMC, right? This thing is even deeper than GameStop at this point. So if you do get that to bounce up, hey, that's a great sign for some kind of positivity. And you just want to be diligent as a trader and say, hey, if that does cross back down, that's not a good sign for AMC. Just being aware of it. I hope it goes up, but I am aware of how things move back and forth. I am always ready to react and thinking into the future just a little bit. Netflix now only up 1%. Now only up 1%. It's the more money they put in to suppress the stock. What you need to understand about AMC and GME is the goal here is to throw it down to zero. They're having to pile more money against the stock because at any time above $5, there can be more margin calls, and margin calls can make them have to actually get rid of positions that are their collateral, right? Their margin could be called and then they have to use their collateral to pay for it. And that's what could be happening with the Qs right now. Or you could be them selling in this area to actually underneath the curtain buy things like GameStop at lower prices when they make it drop. So it's kind of like, are they fighting the stock to head down and spending their money there? Just know that's going to be more wasted money. The more that they short sell the stock, the more synthetic shares that are created, the more money that piles into beat this thing down. If it can just remain at higher levels for even, it could take a whole year, but if it remains at higher levels, eventually the dam will break, right? Because the whole goal here is to send these stocks to zero. So if they just never hit zero, then they're always in trouble. 15 to 22, yeah, I have about an estimation of 16 to 22 for AMC for some kind of maybe a fake pump. We'll see. I could see it. I mean, the thing is, I could see it. It's just, was all of this in the market to rip some money away from retail at the highs to then pay to suppress the stock, or pay to actually cover, or maybe something like maybe a margin call happens, so they want to make sure to have cash on hand. I don't know necessarily. Obviously, we won't know until everything just happens. But for the most part, you would say right now it looks like they're using these funds to suppress the stock, which if they do that, it adds more fuel to it, and all you're waiting for is the spark. Yeah, we can go look at Zap. We've looked at that a few times this week, so I'm down to look at it. Zap here, this might be a 2-hour double top. Let's see here. So if you don't count this one, we just kind of look across here and we find this point right here where you're about even. You do notice that little divergence down. So 2-hour is saying pullback as of right now. So this is not a good sign for upward price action until that 2-hour can really turn back up. So the problem with this area here is that 2-hour signal you're seeing, you can roll over a daily chart. So if the daily rolls over here, you might want to go all the way back down and retest these two big moving averages before you actually see that base out and curl back up. So if you don't want this to happen, then you want the 2-hour to just pull back and turn back up. So you want this to happen in order for that daily not to curl over. But if this continues and that daily does curl over, then you can see a little bit more dramatic price action before you actually base out. Good morning, you made it. Hustler Maniacs here. He's like, I'm going to be here earlier than yesterday. God dang it. I'm going to try to stream a lot today. I think it would be a lot of fun. I answer a lot of questions about swing trading, since that's the new course out there on the craziest freaking sale you've ever seen. $50 freaking, 90% off for now. Great chance. It's a great course because it's something that's short and sweet, and you can take it multiple times over the weekend, dedicate a little bit of time to learning, but it's not long enough that it's going to take your whole weekend, so you can still have fun with friends and family. I always encourage that. Living life is the most important thing. This is just something we do to work throughout the day, right? This is my work, but I make sure to set aside that time for play. I might even go test out some rifles later today. It should be a lot of fun. But so for this one here, really looking at 2-hour pullback. That's what the signal is telling you this morning. How long have I been on today? Since about 8:15, 8:20, right in there. So about only like 30 minutes-ish. What was it saying though? Mark asked for the Dow. So let's go look at the Dow first, and then I can look at LLY for a second. But let's go look at the Dow because that thing was interesting. And what are you noticing? So this is why I'm worried about stocks up in these areas, because if I just go out for a second, I kind of made this channel. Now this channel hasn't been the greatest, but I believe that's the true what it should be. I think this is, and I don't like to move my stuff so it fits and it looks better and all that stuff. I'm sure if I moved it up a little bit, they might even touch these areas. If that were the case, I know I can move it. So right there, we notice we're getting a touch here and a touch here. That might be a little bit better than where I had it. So I will shift it up at this point. Now that I've gotten more data, what are we noticing? Well, we peek our head above that area and we start to pull down. That's not a good sign. That is getting way too excited, way too fast. So as of right now, the Dow is saying 2-hour pullback. And I think, Mark, didn't you short this yesterday? Did you? The price will increase, but I'm going to first of all leave it till the end of the year for $100 after the increase. But here in just, I'm gonna decide whether or not I want to keep it going till my birthday, or most likely the sale might end at the end of this month, and then we'll do like a flash sale on my birthday and just say like, hey, that whole week we'll do things at the crazy sale again. So pretty much at the end of this month, you do have potential for those courses to go up by 100% each. So, and then I might leave it like that and then do a sale on my birthday. But yeah, we can look at some stuff across the board. I just want to see, I'm pretty sure Mark shorted the Dow yesterday, showing this big upward move, and a lot of these moves start to fade. So that's starting to fade. And what you're seeing here, you don't want to read into it too much like, oh, it could be a crash. Anytime it could be a crash, right? But for the most part, you would just want to be calm and say right now the 2-hour is really up on this MACD. So most likely this is still, even though it's dramatic, still could be just a pullback that then bases out and turns back up, right? Gets close to that center line and turns back up. If it doesn't, then you know, hey, that short's great and I just hold on to that thing. But if it starts to do that, you might want to say, ooh, taking profit might be a good decision, right? That's how we read into these indicators. And Marina, thank you so much for the $5. Can you take a look at S? It's up due to CRWD, CrowdStrike, Crush, weekly, possible cross up. It's a cybersecurity stock. Ooh, I like this. Okay. So let's take a look at this one here. We're seeing it go up. Now, the thing about this cybersecurity stock, you still have the divergences across all of this. So you have to pay attention. Did the daily roll down? It did not. But if we look in the shorter time frames, we're going to see this start to bounce up. This is going to be a very difficult one to do on the shorter time frames. I'm just going to tell you that right now because you're seeing a massive upward move that's now fading, and you have a 30-minute crossing up as of right now. So give me 1 second here. All right, so it's going to be a little complicated on a 30-minute. So what you really want to do with this one, and I know it's going to be rough, but since it is fading very quickly, well, you kind of want to zoom out on things and see if this is actually going to get potentially a move upward on the daily scale. And I know that's not like the best thing to hear, but when you see price action like this, it's very difficult to actually say like, oh yes, this thing needs to head up. It just had 2-hour divergence. That could just pop up above this. And hey, this does look like a swing trade to the upside, but that is a red bar. I'd really like to see just an overall bullish green bar there. And thank you so much again for the $5. But really would like to see a solid green bar here, because this is already saying profit taking is happening. That could be because it's Friday and you can just see this thing rotate back up. I'd really wait for confirmation of this MACD to curl up, because you have steep divergence here and that can roll over a daily chart. And I think that's the overall goal with this one. I don't think they want this thing to go higher as of right now, and you kind of see that with that random profit taking, because cybersecurity should do well after these type of things happen in society, I feel like. So not the most helpful I feel like I could have been, but it's just a tricky one, Marina. Now you're saying weekly scale, so let's go look weekly scale. If that were to happen, this is a potential for a good bounce, okay? So if we close in this area, you do have potential for a solid bounce. Really looking for that to actually cross, as it is a weekly scale. Would still like that to cross, and it's very close, so hopefully that positivity comes back in. You see how when you zoom out, there's kind of a different take, and the weekly scale looks a lot different, which means what if that daily just pulled back briefly and then turned up, right? So I really want this to actually confirm on the MACD. VIX is heading to 20 as of right now. We'll go look at that real quick. The dollar still trying to scale up, it looks like, on the weekly scale. Let's look at this on a 2-hour. Still scaling up here, not curling back down. So now you're in an area, though. You see this, right? So you're in an area where if we do drop a little bit more, you see how we could get some kind of bounce. And then maybe that actually turns out to be bad news later on, maybe into next week. Volatility is creeping up here. Some crazy weird things happening with volatility, but really just want to pay attention. If this 2-hour crosses over, that means volatility has a 2-hour pullback, and you probably see a bounce in the market. And the volatility was telling you 85% chance for an up day in the SPY today, and you're in a 30-minute pullback as of right now. So if we're going to see crazy volatility, 30-minute has to turn up. If we're going to see this volatility fade, well, then that 2-hour has to turn down. All right, I'm going to try to eat a little bit. We can go over to Tesla. Might be making a decision here. Remember Tesla, we said this in the YouTube video last night. Hopefully you guys were able to see that, but this 2-hour turning up means a lot. You need that to actually confirm higher momentum, right? The momentum actually turning up, because you're seeing some choppy stuff. You're pulling back. It's great look for the 2-hour, but you notice this 30-minute just hovering around that center area. So it's really like, oh, this moves down, this moves up, this moves down, this moves up. And now you're making a decision that for right now, the decision is this move is down. So look for that to actually turn back up, and then see if that can turn up the 2-hour chart. The 2-hour chart's the most important one here. If you're going to see another positive move, this thing is going to cross up, and then you want to see if that's able to hold, because most likely when you turn up here, you're going to test the high, go make a new one. But you just want to look at the environment of the stock market and see if a lower high still comes. You have earnings around the corner as well. Let me put it on the SPY for just a bit. Let me try to eat some food this morning, and then I will check on AVGO for you, okay? We're in the retail hour. We can chill for a sec, right? I've got a waffle, I've got 2 slices of bacon, I've got 2 eggs, and some hashy browns. I think she's trying to fatten me up. I'll look at everything in a second, but we're going to be streaming a pretty decent amount today, guys, so since we're streaming a pretty decent amount today, we might take like a lunch break. I might turn the stream off and then come back on later. But other than that, just make sure to like this video, guys. Let's get some people in here today for this longer stream. I know, everyone's excited when I dedicate some more time to it. And I'm sorry that, you know, last night I didn't even have I gave my video out late. And I overall didn't have my video up and things like that, like my face cam and stuff like that. It's just because we actually had our old dog had to go to the vet. He's a little bit sick, a little bit of heart issues now, definitely some mouth, like teeth issues and stuff. So we were just trying to take care of him. And that's my wife's dog she's had forever. So ever since she lived back in New Jersey, in New York, that's who she's had with her. So it's kind of sad, but we're doing fine. He's okay. He still seems a little bit peppy now, like peppier than yesterday, which is great. He's 12. He's getting there. He's getting pretty old. See if this SPY turns up on 30-minute, and then I really want to see that daily expected move. Yeah, I'll look at stuff in one moment. Eat a little bit. Now we'll look at AVGO. Then we'll eat a little bit, and then we'll look at Amazon. And then we'll eat a little bit and look at something else, okay? More than a pullback, you had the 15-minute divergence here. Rejection divergence looked pretty good. See how just a little 15-minute divergence can show positivity. Is this 2-hour rolling up? Yeah, this looks like almost a 2-hour swing trade. You got to acknowledge where you're at on the MACD, something we talk about in the $50 course down in the description for swing trading. That's right, it's only $50, but you have to see this turn up. It's getting above the center line. It's about to. It's getting above the price action. This looks like a swing trade to me. We just noticed that we would want to pay attention to maybe drawing some pattern here, right? Just drawing a little trend might help us. If we can break through that, that would be a good sign going forward. So we'll pay attention to it. It looks like this level right here has proven to be pretty important. 175 looks pretty important. So you're seeing a swing trade. You're just waiting for that last signal, but this is showing you some signals upward. Got to manage the trade in this environment in case it just rolls right back down. But I actually like the look at this as far as the 2-hour goes. Now I know it's a little deep in negative territory, but I know how to manage my trade, and I bet you do too if you've taken those courses. As of right now, you're not necessarily seeing the daily swing trade. You do have the lower high, so a little bit worried on that side of things. But as you see these 2 hours curl up, look what happened last time, a positive move as you get the curl up. As you get above the center line on the MACD and RSI here, well, what do you see from this point? Notice that it's not the first green bar. It's when this thing actually gives all three signals is what I'm talking about. If you have two, we talk about if you have two in the course down in the description. But this right here, 163.76. And then as you do see that curl back down on, say, this bar right here, it'd be your first inclination to get out towards 173.81. Then you pull back, and now you're seeing that next pop up. So see if that is enough consolidation to break you through that trend, but you still want to manage it just like you did with this one over here. What's the other one? Someone asked about Amazon. That thing is building back, right? It's building back. It looks like it needs some kind of 2-hour bounce. You do have divergence in the RSI, not necessarily the MACD. So that tells me maybe we do see a bounce here, and then we make that stronger base with a higher low, or maybe even a double bottom. I think that would be very likely for Amazon. Now, we have to pay attention. If this thing just V-shapes, gets past that center line and just keeps going, that can really move things. So if that does happen, you want to see if this 2-hour can confirm that momentum. And then you would say, okay, swing trade, but where is the MACD? It's really, really low, so I have to be aware of a lower high. I got everyone calling me, dude. I got people calling me about stocks. I got friends calling me about AMC and GME. I got people calling me about info on cyber attacks and how to react. I got all kinds of things going on right now. This market is overpriced. It still is overpriced, but just know they can make it even more overpriced. And we could see the dumps, and that's why it's important to pay attention to our daily expected moves. I'm not popular. I'm just popular right now. I'm only popular when I'm useful, right? Right now I'm just hanging with with mom and the baby girl all the time, so I'm not the most popular, but I'm popular when shit like this is happening. Thank you, Kichan. Hey, thank you, Kichan. Hey, I appreciate that. And I hope you liked what we were talking about with Amazon, how we kind of look at it and we just go, okay, well, let's try to take a step back and just think of what we're seeing in front of us. Marina even says, welcome to the channel. So yeah, everyone welcome Kichan in here. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Everyone got conditioned to buy the dip and we dump. Yeah, so now I think you're going to see, this reaction. I actually think it would make sense to now see the reaction where you bounce, so people think, see, buying the dip works, and then boom, things just get rug pulled. At risk for AMD, this one here, not really seeing any kind of reversal signals yet. You are getting a bounce up on the 30-minute, but you see how that drops down, like it may want to touch into our zone like we talked about yesterday. We may want to touch into a buy zone and then see that turn back up. You're starting to get like 15 minutes that are getting closer to the center line, but you see how that can just roll over, touch that zone, and then that might be the better opportunity. So at this point, though, you have to say that is some dramatic price action down. We're testing the 200, right? So this could be an area for some kind of bounce is what I would overall say. How high could that go? Well, I just want to watch the 2 hour, see that thing turn back up, right? If I'm someone who's front running something, I watch that 2 hour. If that just curls down at any time, ooh, that's going to be negative territory right below you. So just be a little cautious with it, but there's really no reversal signals here for for AMD, or pretty much there's really no reversal signals for almost anything out there. The only one that had it was Netflix, and the move actually happened to the upside, and now that's being faded, so it's just kind of like a sketchy market out there. My volatility position though, still okay. I'll probably get rid of that volatility position, by the way, today. Let me look at volatility. Yeah, it's probably the right time to get rid of this volatility play. Divergence, divergence, up towards my level of 1683. Yeah. I think it's time. So we're gonna get rid of that volatility play. We made some good money on it though, I'm not gonna lie. Now I did play it very safely just in case. I kind of like took a little bit of profit early down in these areas, then that thing popped back up. So now I can take the rest of my profit and say, okay, cool, I'm good for a little bit. I think we might get some kind of turn down that just could make my like positioning a little bit better. So I'm gonna wait for a better position here. See how the SPY, I really think this thing could see some kind of little 30-minute bounce. And then I can reapply that position for a long out expiration, and then just see that thing downturn over time with a daily pullback, like a full-fledged one. We do have GME bouncing back, trying to go positive here, or actually trying to just cross up right now on the MACD for the 30-minute. Now, this will be a day to pay attention because that daily is very close to crossing, and it's a day to pay attention for AMC because that thing already crossed yesterday. So if you want to see some positivity going into Monday, we at least need to curl up on these 30-minute charts is what momentum would tell you. Obviously, if just something random happens, kind of like you know, we were talking about Reese with random things happening, right? If something random happens with GME and AMC, what if they just cover on Sunday night or Monday morning? It's like, okay, then you're going to see a crazy move. You'll probably see a gap up. But for the most part, I want to follow the signals and just say this 30-minute needs to curl up in order for us to see a positive move. Because this is pointing down. It's not a good sign. And we've seen it a ton of times, so. Yo, lately though, hash browns have been slapping. Hope you let us know if you're ready to take the VIX play again. Yeah, of course, Marina, I'll let you know. Marina likes taking the volatility plays now, don't you? How'd that work out? See, I don't even look at UVXY when I do it, but look at that. That was a fantastic trade. I think we bought in some, I think I got in somewhere around 2150 or 22. I think it was 2150 that I took my position, and I think it was up towards $24, and we're just hitting that right now, so very good print for me. No Japanese mayo on the plate, unfortunately, today. She knows I like my hash browns, just like the egg yolk and the hash browns. I like to mix that stuff together. Gold really dropping off here. What's the dollar doing as of right now? Still holding at higher levels. Okay. HYG dropping off. We're kind of consolidating, really. Volatility showing this. TLT really dropping off. The Dow is just kind of going right now. IWM was able to get back within the range, it looks like, for now. We'll see if that can turn back up, but as it does break below, that's really not a good sign, because you want to use this as support to head higher. That kind of leads me to believe AMC and GME could see even a further pullback, and then we're just waiting on the Qs to actually do something here. Apple curling up, Tesla still curling down. So as of right now, the direction is down for Tesla. The 2 hour not able to curl up yet. So direction still down for Tesla. Amazon starting to get that pop back up. Really want that 2 hour to cross, man. That 2 hour crosses, you could probably have a decent sized bounce. But just note, it could be something dud. Like it could be just something like that, right? So it could just be boop, boop. So just make sure you're managing the risk. If this starts to roll over on 30 minutes, it's not a good sign. No, timing it is hard. That's why you kind of treat it like, hey, I just want to make good money out of this trade, just like any other one. I more so treat volatility like, hey, I don't want to try to make a bunch of money. I just know that I can make a good amount if I play this right? I know if I play UVXY at the perfect time, I can like 20 times my money. But the chances of me getting that perfectly are kind of slim. It's very hard to tell. Sometimes you can just get a black swan without any signals, right? So what I more so do is say, look for a good trade setup, take the trade, take profit when this happens the other direction. We see a 30-minute the other direction. Okay, I need to take profit. That's how I kind of look at it. And then I would go, if I continue to do that, eventually I would have higher potential than someone doing it randomly to be in the move when it would happen. So in case it does happen, I am in the move. And that's kind of why I did the whole like, you know, take profit a little bit, but leave some in there in case we just see something sudden hit. Now we have, in the same week, we have cyber attacks, we have a president getting COVID, we have a president almost getting murdered, we have all these things happening at the same time, all in a row. Do you guys remember when I said, politically, you can watch, things will start to escalate and we'll have less timeline between crazy things. Now we're seeing less timeline between crazy things. Did you have signals before the crash, before COVID? So this is where paying attention to the SPY will really help. Weirdly enough, you did. I think it was a weekly, but if you go look at COVID, I think I was right here, right? Yeah. If you go look at COVID on the daily, this is why we pay attention to every daily divergence. I want you to see at the top here. I want you to see at the top here. What do you see? What do you see? You've taken the course. Boom, a little bit downward, right? But look at the RSI. Ooh, flat, 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 down. And then you have a confirmation right here. Pretty crazy, right? So you did have the signal, a divergence on the daily scale before, and it confirmed up here towards 333. Just imagine if you paid attention to that signal and you just went, yeah, let me short this for a month. Whoa, okay, cool. That went from 333 all the way down to 285. It's a great move. So you will see the signals a lot of the time. Just like if we go up to where we recently pulled down from this area, what do we notice at the high? Well, we had a double top divergence, and if we manage the trade, we're okay, and then we see the bigger divergence across the way, the flatness here, the downward divergence on the RSI, the downward divergence on the MACD at the same time, and then what do we see? Bad things, right? So you will get signals towards these tops a lot of the time, unless it's a complete black swan. But you notice even COVID as a black swan, you still got the signal. Pretty cool, right? So what would that tell us here? Well, that would tell us here, do we have those signals? Not necessarily. You really don't have those signals, and that's why I think you most likely do base out and turn back up, and then anytime we do see that signal, that's when we need to pay attention. This one right here is a daily chart. If you go into a 2-hour, I just zoom in and out a lot, so it could be a yearly thing, it could be whatever. But most of the time when I'm zoomed in like this, you'll see about maybe a week's worth of price action, right? So when you look at the 2-hour, just like with this kind of look right here, you're getting about a week of price action in this, right? We have, actually, that's all the way back to June 20, so that's June 03, right? So that's 03, so you actually get pretty much like 3 weeks worth of price action maybe. But I don't really pay attention to that. I'm more just looking at what is the signal I need to pay attention to. Is there divergence across from, say, the end of June? Not really. There is more price action right here showing a lot of divergences there for the SPY. 6 weeks. Okay, fine, Reese. Reese is calling me out today. I'm down with it. That's cool with me. 2-hour cross on the VIX. Thank you for notifying me. 2-hour. Ooh, it's close. It's close, but you do have divergence here as well, like flat. Notice it's flat, but you don't have it on the MACD. So I think this will be a 2-hour pullback. I think Steve Kang, I think you're kind of saying something similar to what I'm thinking is like, we get this to pull back, we see a bounce in the market, and then maybe even just like over the weekend, shit starts to hit the fan. We'll see. It's a great day to pay attention to the stock market, I tell ya. All right, 2 hour curling down here. Let's see if this 30-minute has seen some positivity yet. Nope, nothing. We got nothing. AMC though, still need the same signal. You need that to curl up for the 30-minute for now. Then you want the 2 hour to curl up. Then you want the daily to curl up again, right? We just go up the time frames, but for now that hasn't happened. You probably need to take back these, like this 200 in order for that to really happen. It just depends. Do we make the stronger base now? Do we make it next week? Do we not make a stronger base and just see it curl up and then a crash on Monday? I'll wait till then. Lizard's like, I'm gonna wait till after the earnings, guys. That's probably a good choice. Earnings can really rip you up. All right. Oh, shit. Almost dropped my water all over everything. That would have been bad. That was a funny tweet. Sorry, I read Twitter for a split second and it was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I have a buy contract at $5.50 and a put contract at $5. Both expire today. AMC and GME could be dull today. Probs close around max pain, $5, $25, but then Monday, massive moves. And I think that's kind of what you have potential for, especially if we start to see the market like bounce in some way. Actually, I think if you see this like bounce and get up to here by the end of the day and start to roll, that could mean like, hey, this is all a fake out to get you sucked in. And then Monday we see something crazy. But we most likely... People aren't talking about Microsoft and crowd work. They should be. Like, we're just not talking about, you know, if we don't want the market to go down, then the media is like, okay, yeah, we don't want to talk about cyber attacks that could affect everyone and affect airports and radio and TV broadcasts and telecommunications. We would hate to do that. No, we want the market to stay up. Let's just not talk about it. Let's just not. No, let's just not. I don't want to. Actually, in fact... Let's not even make Microsoft drop that much. Let's actually, you know what? Let's send Microsoft like higher maybe. Remember when I said Microsoft looked like a good setup and they most likely would use it to hold up the market for a little bit? Maybe it looked like that had the potential to be here. Man, that cyber attack would have really ruined that plan, wouldn't it? That cyber attack would have really ruined that plan. Shoot. All right, well, let's just act like it didn't happen. Me when I close my eyes and pretend everything's fine. Yeah. They're like, shit, guys. We accidentally cyber attacked ourselves. Damn it. Head and Shoulders. On Microsoft? You might be looking at a smaller time frame. I mean, you could make a big ass Head and Shoulders over here. This would make a lot of sense. You see some kind of drop down to here, you bounce for the retest, and then you drop down. I could see this being collected. Boom, boom, boom. That would be interesting. Personally, wouldn't be shorting the small caps right now. That's kind of true. I mean, usually when these yields have to come down dramatically, we do see those small caps loving life. Now, here's one thing to pay attention to, guys. We haven't looked at yields for a little bit. They have been coming down, but I want you to see the near price action here and just see what we have. Uh-oh. You do not want this to confirm. We might have to see rates go a lot higher. That would be interesting. Let's zoom in on this RSI, see if it's at the same time. Ooh, it is. This is at the same time. So you do have a divergence on the MACD, on the RSI at the same time. That might convince me to get out of my TLT play. I think my yeah, this is going to be get out of my TLT investment. What did I lose on this? Okay, that's not that bad. All right. Darn. Hey, I'll take it. It's fine. It was like a 1% loss. So, not bad. We'll take it. Top of the barn in Turkey. Why do we only put 239 beans in me soup, yeah? Because if you'd be eating one more, it'd be too farty. If you're Irish, I love you. Well, is that Irish? I think that's Irish. That's a little joke. 240. 240. Beans. Okay, yeah. You're like, I'm like, I look up, I'm like, yeah, definitely some people. Yeah, now I realize why people leave my stream, you know? Damn it, Trevor. My dad jokes are insane. Just saying. Just saying. Look at your boy Amazon over here. Keychan. Keychon. Keychon? It's probably Keychon. Wow, that sounds like kitchen. Keychon. Kitchen. Keychon. Let's go into Keychon. I feel like we could say that in a different realm. I don't know what C3AI is. I'm just going to be genuine about that. I'm not going to lie to you. That seems crazy. Kitchen? He used to really used to call you kitchen. I'm just saying it's a little funny. Okay, Mara about to make that big move. Let's see what Bitcoin's done since we said, hey, on the 2 hour, it looks like you're crossing up on the MACD. We're seeing that upward price action. This is a great swing trade for Bitcoin. I wonder if this is going to go up then. BITO. 30-minute cross up. Look how the 30-minute looks just like the 2 hour. You wonder why I do that on Bitcoin, why I like the 2 hour. It's because it resembles a 30-minute here. Seeing that cross up, we could see a positive move here for BITO, and Bitcoin looks like it's 2 hours curling up. We could see something there. Let me go back to this and look at this on a 4 hour too. 4 hour could even curl up and it has a little room. That might be a trap about to form though. A little bit worried towards that high. Unless you're going to make like a big left head and right shoulder. That would be cool. God damn, that'd be cool. What are my thoughts on the Qs today? I really still am thinking that we're gonna bounce. We are seeing the dollar keep heading higher. So that is interesting. We are seeing selling. So that's interesting. But I just really want to look at this 30-minute. I'm not going to say it's going to bounce or anything like that, but you're still in that kind of bounce signal with a decent base. So I'd really, really pay attention to that, see what's going on there. But for now, you would say, hey, if this can curl up on the 2 hour, maybe I see a 2 hour bounce. For now, I think you're going to see something from the 30-minute. I still think they want to do like this by the end of the day. And then maybe they just want to roll that thing down over the weekend. We see a black swan. I don't know necessarily. I would just say I'm looking for the Qs to hit 486.53 or 472.45 today. And the most likely scenario as this 30-minute is green is, hey, we're going to go up towards that area for some kind of bounce. Then I want to see if we're making any kind of little structure in here to head higher. But I think this area right here would make total sense to end by the end of the day. Doesn't mean it has to happen. If this 30-minute rotates back down, well, then right away, the probabilities say this is the target for the day. So that people need to join your course instead, as it is better value, and pasted your channel URL. Forgive me, but it's 100% true. Hey, that's perfect. I mean, hey, if you want to, you know, share the news about some of this channel and, you know, talk to your friends about it and stuff like that, I think that's great. Word of mouth is, I'm a marketing guy. I have a huge history in marketing. So for now, I would just say, as a marketing person, I know how much it means to have people talking about it. Word of mouth is one of the craziest, like, most validating things. So I really hope that what we're doing here is helping genuinely. And by you wanting to spread the word, that kind of is a little bit of proof. But I'm never going to get cocky with it. I'm always going to be like, I need to be as helpful as I can be today. That's kind of the mentality I get in my head every single day is be helpful, be helpful, be helpful. Even when I look at something quickly, don't think I'm not thinking about like how helpful I could be. Now, Meta, This one here is bouncing up. Looked like it might have needed to curl down, but we did say, you know, this 2 hour curls up, you can see a positive move. So right now it looks like Meta is going to see a bigger overall bounce on the 2 hour, which might be a leading indicator of other stocks that could see similar moves. Maybe something like Apple could see a 2 hour bounce. Maybe something like Amazon could see a 2 hour bounce. Maybe even something like Google could see a 2 hour bounce. So we'll pay attention. You still have a lot of time in this bar. You have an hour left. Getting out of a new holdings. I got it 360s and don't see any more continuation. Ooh, yeah, that's a rough one. You probably have a 30-minute crossing up, but see how you're negative. So it is a little less likely towards these highs. You notice that we're negative. We're pretty negative here. So a lower high is possible. Now you could be trying to like base out, maybe give some structure to this, right? Do something like this, very tiny in here. We'll see. But really, if this hourly can curl up, you might see another positive move. But towards the highs, I think if you're saying risk to reward, the 2 hour curling down, if that actually can confirm up, you might see another positive move. But just how much would that move be, right? If you just like maybe take this, you know, connect this, go like that, you go, okay, is it worth me risking, hey, something horrible happens or something? Maybe like looking at this, I'm more thinking in my mind about how I've been thinking lately is how I'm trying to speak about it. I'm overall saying like, if I see all of this risk in the market, kind of what I told my brother when he called me or texted me yesterday, he, you know, was talking about putting a bunch of money into, you know, certain sectors. And I just went, just everything is up here and things like that. So if you're looking to, because you don't want to look at stocks all the time, you're looking to invest, it's probably just a better time to sit on your hands. And that doesn't mean you can't still see positivity, but that could be something that gives you FOMO, and then you're kind of taken aback when that does actually drop. So I'm saying this 2 hour can pop up, but then you'll just get a divergence. And is it really worth it to risk like saying like, oh yeah, this is going to make a divergence? Because you don't know, this could just go boop like that. So it's just a time to be like, did I make money out of the play? That's the overall goal with every single trade, is to actually make money, right? So I'm happy with 5x on shares. Oh yeah, that's what? Yeah, that's fantastic. Yo, Short Fridays was in prison, my dude. That's gangster. I wasn't. I did get some minor what's it called? I got caught drinking before I was 21. Don't do it, kids. It's bad. No, don't. Seriously, don't. No, for real, guys. Do not do it. I was thinking yesterday, and if you accept, I will create a Discord channel for you and transfer you the ownership. Maybe. Let me think about it. Give me the weekend. No, but really, I don't drink at all like anymore. I have like one beer and I'm done. So like when you're young, fun, awesome. I got old and I do not enjoy it at all. Just being genuine, being myself, telling you how it is. Trevor's like, I was gonna go to prison too. Stepped on some grass. Oh yeah, let's get off of this for a sec. Let's go back over to the SPY. Uh-oh. Are things really gonna curl up? We'll see on the SPY. God dang it, she gave me so much, like I'm complaining about it. And that's such like, I'm trying not to complain about stupid things. Give me the weekend to think about it. Let me talk about it. My wife's done Discords a lot. She used to be big into like cosplay groups and stuff. So let me just think about it first. Or if you can send me like a mock-up screenshot to my email or something, like what you think it should look like. But it's just hard for me to like manage it. Like I don't know how much managing goes into a Discord. Nvidia's done. I can go down to 116. here we go. If we actually see this turn down, we need to pay attention to that 116 level, because you could just do this very dramatically. What if they do it dramatically, right? By the end of the day, uh-oh, boink. But that could just end badly, right? This is looking ugly. Dollar did go up, so looks like there might, ooh, shit, volatility. God dang it, did I sell this too early? I don't think so. Let me look at futures. Maybe this would clear it up a little bit. That is such a weird look, man. Yeah, you don't have it either. You don't have it either. Wait, is this even... Wait, this isn't even moving. The fuck? Yo, what is going on with everything these days? Why is that not moving? Holy shiznit. Thank you, Short Fridays, for the $100. Come on, everyone. Holy shiz. Well, it's a good thing we're going live at the end of the day too, right? Thank you so much for the $100. Seriously, your Short Fridays. It's always on Friday. You're like, I want to give back to the community. No, I really do appreciate it, and thank you so much. Let's read that out. Pulled the trigger yesterday on AMC Stock. Bought 200,000 shares at $5.24 average price. Even if I have to wait for 3 years for it to pop to $6, that is my profit out. I've decided. I know this isn't in the course, but I just have a good feeling. And that's perfectly fine, right? It is your money. You are doing your own trading, and that is perfectly fine to make the decisions you want to make, right? But I just want to more so just give you little implementations, little things that you can look for that might help you out. I'm going to respect anyone that buys towards certain areas. You know, if you really think that that's where the potential is, and you know it could take 3 years, I think you have the right headspace for it. You're going to have a few moderators. Exactly. That's why I'm like, God dang it, you guys. I have so much to deal with all the time. I'm just like, now add a Discord in. Fucking A. It sounds so tiring. Where's that donation? Why won't it pop up on the screen? Pop up. Did it pop up? Am I crazy? Yo, seriously though. Why is no one saying, holy crap, Short Fridays? Amazing. There we go. Marina said it. Marina's always good at keeping up. There it is. Wait, this way. There it is. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Seriously, thank you for the 100. And Marina, thank you for the $5. Every donation is a good donation. We love it. Giving back to the community. I really need to get t-shirt designs out to you guys so you can vote on it. Everything's going red, except for GameStop. I don't know if everything's going red, guys. I can buy like 50 bottles. Can you really? I don't think it's that. No, it's more than $2. We got the Big Daddy bottle last time. Everything's giving up. Palantir crossing up on a 30 again. What else? What were we looking at? Regional banks are green. What the heck were we looking at? Oh, Nvidia. I really got to see if this turns down. Wow, okay, Short Fridays, $50. Jeez, everyone better be saying thank you to Short Fridays for giving back to the community. That is so fantastic. And we're going to have a longer stream today, so thank you so much, Short Fridays, for the next donation. Kudos to you, Lucas, for this channel that we have discovered. Your channel has truly been a game changer for myself, and I would imagine everyone else in here subscribed. Much appreciation. Yes. the overall goal for this channel, guys, is just to be helpful, and I hope that we're able to do that, right? I hope we're able to just, you know, move forward and think of the things that we're doing wrong, try to hold ourselves accountable, but still realize the important things in life, like having fun with your family and making sure you're in a good headspace and working out and doing all that great stuff. So thank you, Short Fridays, for, you know, just showing us that positivity. And I think a lot of this channel is just about that. We, for a little bit there, we had some people come in and talk negatively about AMC and GME, and those have really filtered out. And I think we're really building a good community here. And really, we're at, you know, weirdly enough, today, 6,900 subs. You know what that means. That means we're 100 away from 7,000 and nothing else. But it's all because of you guys, and it's just kind of the beginning. You know, I really hope to continue this to inform people more and more about how to use these type of indicators. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to finish this. Marina says, awesomeness. Short Fridays, you're starting to make me love Fridays, man. Look at coin. I'm guessing it's going to look good because of how Bitcoin's reacting with that 2-hour cross up. Let's see. Oh, 30-minute cross. Really, this was the good signal right here, but there's where you have all the confirmations. Now you have to see if you're getting some upside moves, but you got a good shot. And what you can do a lot of the time with coin is watch Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin does, coin most likely will do next. Yo, I hate when markets like closed at all, honestly. There's like some days, like if it's like a random Wednesday and I want to go to the pool or something, then it's awesome. But like when it's like a Friday or a Monday, especially a Monday, actually when the market's closed on a Monday, I'm like, it's just throwing off my whole week. Now, Steve Kang, I want to ask you, do you think if we get a bigger dip in Bitcoin or in the market, do you think that bigger dip will lead us to highs by 2025 and then we see something bad in the first quarter? Or do you think it's like maybe we head down for a brief moment right now, we head up, and then we see something bad towards September, October? That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. You want some? Why does it look fake like that? Oh, now the camera's off. There it goes. You really had potential for AMC to hit like this week $6. Now I gotta make some bacon. Do it, man. Make some bacon, then make some bacon here in the market. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What are you doing? What are you doing? This doesn't look like a stock that's gonna close below $25. This one still could close below $5, so we need this one to go. Hold on, I know what to do. I know exactly what to do in this situation. We must. Where the frick? Where's my mayo? Guys, where's my freaking mayo? Oh, there it is. We gotta put some mayo on it. We gotta put some mayo on it. Come on, AMC. You got this. You got this. You got this. All right. Everything's good again, guys. Don't worry. It's gonna go up now. It's gonna go up now, guys, because we put mayonnaise on it, you know? This is crash time. Okay, so Steve, wait, depend on who wins, they will punish Trump. Actually, I think there's multiple reasons that we could crash because of Trump. Think about it this way. If Trump was in on the short selling, think about it this way. And then he makes the stock, and then they say, we don't like you, so we're going to short sell that stock. which you saw the short interest on DJT be crazy. It does have a short seller problem, DJT. And then the guy who you're trying to absolutely shut down his company, you're actually taking short positions the day before an assassination attempt that was totally a accident, an unforeseen event. Yeah, I would say that if that guy gets elected, he's probably going to punish all the short sellers. That's what I think, right? It just makes sense. Oh, you like short selling? Oh, you want to short sell my stock? Okay, well now I'm the president. And you missed, so good fucking luck. Sometimes you got to be careful with that type of info, Robert. I would encourage you to look for the signals because it depends on if Bitcoin can't necessarily, like, the problem with Bitcoin is so much of it is held by like, I think it's like 10 to 20 people. Like, so much of it is held by 10 to 20 people. So it can be manipulated. But one thing you would say is if they get the short seller problem out of the way, if those are the people who have any kind of short selling in them at all, then you would say, hey, they have to pay for that. CrowdStrike we haven't looked at. Actually, we need to go look at that. Let's look at that. I always forget. Is it CWRD? Damn it. CRWD? Got it. Second try. That's pretty dope. CrowdStrike really falling off here. Obviously, that makes some sense. Ugh. Wow, that just looked bad all around, though. Like, this is kind of why in the course we're like, you have to acknowledge where you're at, though, on the MACD when swing trading or anything like that. If you just want to use the simple strategy of all these things curling up, but this was not above the center line. So if you do go take the $50 swing trading course, it's in the description, huge discount, but this would not have been a trade setup right here. You have the MACD crossing, you're very deep, so you know this is a risky one, but the trade setup did not confirm on the RSI. So there was no real reason to be in this play because that RSI is really deep. The format is a video format, so that would overall just mean like, hey, you're taking it video by video, and then throughout those, oh, you're actually touching a 200 here. Interesting. Sorry, that was, did you guys just see my ADHD in real time? Ooh, that was scary. But the swing trading course is just swing trading, so it'll teach you a little bit about the MACD and RSI, what you need to really know about it. It'll teach you the positioning of the MACD as well, because that's a little important. Teach you about the moving averages, RSI, all that good stuff, and give you the entries and exits, how to manage the trade. That is swing trading. The $100 course, which is how to trade in pretty much any market, right? Make money in any market. That course with the option strategy is for one, a good market. You can still use that in order to find good signals to get good potential trades. And then we teach you about the weekly ranges, how to use those with everything together. We teach you about divergences, a ton of stuff. So the $100 course is more in depth, but it will give you the tools that you need to trade in any kind of market. A bullish one, a bearish one, a bear market rallies. It'll help you with those. It'll help you with a lot. So that one is more so how to trade anything. And then the swing trading one is just swing trading. So you would say the swing trading one's a little less complicated than the next one, but I've heard they're both very easy to understand. And if you do have questions, I go live all the time. Come ask questions. DJT swing trade didn't work for me. What time frame, Onda? Let's see. Let me go see. And did we do an option? If it's a short time frame and you did an option, I'm going to be, because we tell you in there. Let me see it, Onda. What time frame? Just tell me what time frame. You don't have to tell me anything else. What's the monthly move for Apple? Apple's, I think, is it still outside of its monthly? 223. It's at its monthly expected move right now, pretty much. Let me see. On to 30-minute. Okay, 30-minute ones are very, 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 very tight. Swing trading course is great. Thanks. So try it. Tom, thank you for saying that, because I had refilmed it twice. I might purchase it over the weekend. It's great over the weekend, and you can practice looking at charts, looking at setups. Make sure to note how I'm only talking about daily and 4 hours because we see crazy stuff on the 30-minute, which we're going to show you guys that right now with DJT, why swing trading the 30-minute is difficult and what we are going to teach you in order for that to happen. I'm going to make a video and put it out on the swing trading course for the shorter time frames. What do we notice here? And this is actually how you're going to do it. I'm just going to tell you guys are fantastic. Short Fridays is donating, and I think that you guys can listen to what I'm saying. It's kind of a insight of what we're going to get into in the video that I am adding to the swing trading course this weekend. If I get some time, hopefully I get time. It shouldn't take me too long to make. But this here is your swing trade signal. Now, what do we always say in order for those swing trade signals? Well, you at least need, if you're by the 200, you at least need 2, right? So we have 1 here, and we have an RSI that looks like it might want to cross the next day. Now, that did cross the next day, but that's a massive move. So what we're going to talk about is the crossing of this MACD while the RSI is in range of that center line, and you take back the 9 and you're close enough to the 200. Okay, so what you want to do here is say, now I need to think of weekly expected moves or even daily expected moves, and just say, if that 30-minute is going to curl up and I see a big move this week, I know exactly how high that stock is supposed to go. So more so what we're going to talk about over the weekend is how to use weekly ranges while swing trading and how to know when to take profit. That's what we're going to talk about this weekend. But overall, if you were looking for all 3 signals, this is why you don't necessarily want to do a 30-minute all the time. It's very, very difficult. Okay, oh, this is on the daily scale, by the way. Shit, I just did all that on the daily scale. But it looked great, didn't it? Okay, so where was the swing trade you took? It did curl up and it curled back down. I'm an idiot, first of all. Second of all, this one here, so you curl up. So here's the reason swing trading can be difficult, and you want to manage the trade just like you saw in the course. You probably on a 30-minute, which we'll talk about a little bit over the weekend, you have to look at a 15 because you are so close to the center line. If you're further away from the center line, great. You know, you're further away from the center line, you're going like this, that's awesome. This MACD is going way up here, that's great. You just see if that closes back below and you go, okay, that was a great trade. But since you're really close to the center line, you never really see that pop. You want to manage the trade early on in case that rolls over by the center line because it's very, very close to it, right? So it could switch over and go negative. So what I want to do is get a little closer. I want to say the 15-minute, and I want to say, okay, if the 15-minute rolls over, then the 30-minute is very close to the center line and has potential to curl down. So around all of these bars in here, these were a lot of bars that can convince you like, hey, this thing's going to drop down, especially this one, if not this one right here. So this bar right here is, I would say, the time where it's like, hey, yeah, this isn't the best. But if you were looking at this from a 15-minute perspective, what do you notice? You have a divergence right here. You have a divergence right here. You have the pop-up right here. That still could have been profitable for you, actually. So a lot to learn, but we'll go over that this weekend, okay? I'm sorry that happened to you, Onda. That's unfortunate. In the course, we do talk about how daily timeframes and 4-hour timeframes are all that I used while swing trading. I don't necessarily just take a 30-minute swing up. I'm more looking for what we talk about in that $100 course, divergences and things like that. Get out of the market, says JF. Oh, trust me, I'm sure some people are thinking about it right now because we have some stuff dropping down to lower levels. But here's the thing. We have volatility up higher. So you people out there who have taken the how to trade in any kind of market, remember how that option strategy I was telling you about, which we tell you how to do in that course, that $100 course right now, you literally are seeing higher volatility. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means that that strategy has a high potential to start to work very, very well, and you'll see big bounces, you'll see big drops, and I highly encourage you to pay attention to those weekly moves and maybe refresh yourself on that course. If you've already taken it, go take it again. Go watch it again. You know that when you buy it, it is yours. It's a one-time payment, or there's a 4-payment plan, but for the most part, you want to just say, maybe I need to take that again this weekend. Daily swing trades. Let's look at your daily swing trades, William. Can I look at them? Are you cool with that? Let's see what we think. Let's see if there are good examples for everyone out there this morning. Ooh, daily swing trade was here. Yes, this is a great daily swing trade. Now you're kind of saying take profit. You could be doing something bad right here. You have divergence across the top. Just so you're aware of it, these are reversal signals on the daily scale. You can still see a little bounce here, but if this thing crosses over, that's not a good sign. All right, now you do have earnings and stuff. That can really put a damper on everything. We'll see. We'll see with that one. What's the other one? GS. Goldman Sachs, this one here showing a divergence. So Goldman Sachs is about to tank, just so you're aware. And if that happens over the weekend, we might be in for some bloodiness. If it's just some kind of pullback coming that leads to another higher move, we'll pay attention to. But this is a signal that you can see before a massive drop. I'm just letting you know, because you can end up down here, get some kind of bounce, and then a game over. So I'd really be paying attention to Goldman Sachs, because that daily looks like it wants to roll down here. Let's see if we have 2-hour divergence behind it. No 2-hour divergence behind it, so that tells me we could make another move higher before we actually see that daily crossover. Just pay attention to those things as far as that one goes. As we look forward, oh, you're on the swing down. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. I was like, because these all look bad. Thank God. All right, XRT, you're looking at this on the 2-hour. What do you notice? It did have divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD. So if it wanted to, this could still be a pullback that leads to another pop. We'll see if that can pop up. Maybe a lower high comes out of this. That's a pretty dramatic drop. Let's look, daily scale. What do we notice? Divergence. You're finding a lot of good ones here. We see the peak of that MACD here. We see the peak over here. That is a great little divergence, and you can play these type of things, and you might just break through this, and you might head towards that 200. I love all of these. I love all of these, man. I'm just being genuine. I think you're picking some good ones, and then you just have to manage them. As we look at BMY, we see a bunch of divergences here. A bunch of divergences for an upside move. That is great, right? Only problem is we got this little thing called earnings, and that thing can mess with us a bit. But did this come out yet? Oh, Friday the 26th. Okay, so next week you'll have earnings. So be careful with that. You could be experiencing a 2-hour pullback as of right now, because you're decently high up. So look for that 2-hour to rotate back up, and then you have daily divergence with you if that rotates back up. So that would be pretty solid there. I kind of like this look on the daily scale. I like this look. The only reason I don't like it is because earnings is right there. And you know, earnings for me is always a bummer, I feel like. People who bought HE did well. I think I saw this a couple times, so let's take a look at it. Ooh, that did pretty well. That did pretty well. Let's see if we have any signals down here. I don't think we do. I think we just had a V shape. Yeah, we just had a V shape almost. We had like one opportunity for a pullback. Did this pull back in here on the 2-hour? It did, just briefly, and then you got the next confirmation. So if you're even waiting for this to get above like a 200 or something, there's your confirmation at 11.25. Boom, great move. This curl up a monthly? It's about to. Gosh dang, that's a good sign. Yeah, rejection on the weekly with divergence. So this could be strong as hell. That's crazy. I like that. I don't like that, because that's just obvious manipulation in some way. Something there is manipulated. You just kind of feel it, right? With how that looks. Amazon's starting to roll back down on the 30-minute. We'll see. Right now it's looking pretty flat. We'll see. And we're not necessarily seeing like a move down in the dollar to tell us anyone is buying in here. We're actually seeing reversal from the dollar. So this could just be like game over. Unless something like this plans out. We could see a rejection here now that AMD is dipping down to lower levels. We have a very obvious triple divergence down here, and it looks like it's shaping up to be a rejection divergence on the MACD. We'll see if that can pop up above these moving averages, and then maybe we get some kind of reaction to 160. Maybe we get some kind of reaction all the way up to 169. We'll see. As of right now, it looks like, hey, 30 minutes still heading towards that center line. So I'd look for that maybe around 160 to turn back down. We'll pay attention to it. The lower high is very likely here on the 30-minute for AMD. Hey, please look at some power for me. I got in at 80 cents. Give me the ticker, Jay, okay? So I can just type that in if it's going to have any kind of good bounce. Give me the ticker real quick. Bye SPY, fake bounce. Yeah, you could, like, legitimately could be. I'm just saying you're trying to base out now. So if we zoom out to a 15-minute, you see how we're going to get this little tiny divergence here for the double bottom. The Qs already have the triple bottom. If that rejects, you could stabilize and turn up. So you don't really want to be crossing over on these because that could be consolidation to head down. But as of right now, you're going this way. So I'd really pay attention to that, looking at the 30 minutes, see if that 30-minute can cross. 30-minute crosses, hell no, that's bad. You might head towards that 472. But if that 15-minute can rotate back up again, reject there, you actually might have a brief bottom that takes you up into this area. And then we have to see what happens over the weekend. Oh, okay. SPWR. Let's look at this one. Oh, Sun Power. Okay. Whoa. Wow, that looks bad on the 30 minutes. So if you get a bounce, just be careful. That's very negative. Very negative on the 2 hour. Holy crap. Very bad all around. But if you're in at, say, 80 cents, it's never been there before. Why is it heading down so dramatically? Did they get hacked as well? And then we'll look at IWM, but tell me what went on with this. Does this have a short seller problem or did this get hacked in some way? Let me know. I got puts in IWM and we have Robert talking about IWM. So IWM did a key thing here. And that is we saw the divergences at the highs, right? We see the obvious little divergences. We talked about those a little bit live. And then we just said, now, I think we said, right, with this going to this high, look out because you could use, the target was overall that weekly expected move, seeing if you could use that as support. The key thing here is you've cut it and now you're kind of seeing these little rejections off of it. So if you keep heading down here, it's not going to be a good sight. This 2 hour pullback might continue for a little bit longer. See where that weekly move is maybe for next week. And then maybe that's able to base out and turn back around. We'll have to see. The collapse this week came after SunPower told dealers that it was halting new leases, installations, and shipments. That is not good. Move to the upside possible for GME. Yeah, it looks like SunPower, hey, it's at 80 cents, right? Here's your position. So you kind of want to see if things start to reverse back around, but that thing is just flashing red right now. That's all we can say about it. GME trying to curl up here. Remember, you need that 30-minute to curl up at least a 30-minute curl up, and you need that to remain for the rest of the day. Remember, we are going to take a lunch break in about, I'm going to hop off in about 15 minutes, and then we're going to come back after I go to lunch for a little bit, okay? So I will be back for almost an all-day stream, and you can thank Short Fridays again. Short Fridays is always paying for the full-length stream, so everyone say thank you, Short Fridays. You're awesome. He's our friend that's been to prison, so we can say mean things to people and he'll back us up. You know? That's like my buddy. I have this guy who's a good friend of mine who just like doesn't put up with random dudes like BS or anything. So whenever I go out with him, I'm like, I feel so safe. He's like 6'4", like 260. He's cool. Are we invited too? What are you eating for lunch? Oh, I don't know what we're eating for lunch just yet. We can't decide if we want to go out or not. All we know is Abuela is watching Baby Girl at market close. Abuela will be here to watch Baby Girl, and we can do whatever we want. What should we do? We're saying, should we go to a movie at AMC? Should we go to the shooting range? We're really excited. I was taken advantage of in prison. Oh, so your hand was in someone's pocket? Oh gosh. No, just kidding. Where do we learn about stocks and start to make money? Well, one of the best things you can do to start out if you're someone who's a little bit new is really learn swing trading, learn about your indicators, and learn to really follow momentum and acknowledge that you're going to be in a rigged game. So one of the things that we tell a lot of people who are just starting out, especially if you're young, is like if you're, say, even 25 or 30 years old, even my age, you can start investing for the next 10 years and look into things because you might get big opportunities. Like say if Nvidia was to go back up to $134, well, you might be able to do that from an investment standpoint. Is this a good thing to invest in now? Not necessarily, right? Because you have a MACD that's completely to the upside here, way up in this territory here. So, and you also have an RSI that's pretty cooked. And you do notice that the time to invest is actually here, right? And do you see that? No, you don't. So you want to wait and be patient, save money, and then see that curl back up. Then you go, oh, this could be a good investment. If you need to learn more about this stuff, either of the courses will be good for you, as you are maybe new-ish. Right? If you're new-ish, I would say swing trading is a good place to start. And then if you know, like, hey, swing trading, I need to be patient to find those setups, unless you're looking at something like AMC, something that's turning up like GME, unless you're looking at things like that right now, it would be good to take the next course, because then that will teach you how to trade in a pretty much any market, right? It'll teach you all the things you know to trade in any market, and therefore it'll teach you more things. It'll give you more tools. It'll give you more success over time in any kind of market. And if volatility creeps up, it'll be very good for you. But highly encourage the swing trading course for anyone that's just starting to get into stocks, because it'll teach you how to invest very clearly. Yeah, everything looking like it's going to pull down on these daily charts. We'll see what happens from here. This is why you have to be careful with those shorter time frames. You do still have the daily chart saying pullback. Now you can see bounces all the time within these, right? So that makes sense, but this daily is saying pullback. This daily is saying, let me get to that center line. Let me get down to this 50. Let me get down towards 542 and then see if I'm able to take all this stuff back. I hope that was helpful to you, and you can ask any question in here. So when you do take those courses, I highly encourage you to come back to the live video. If you have trouble with certain areas, there's a lot of people here who are very nice, who can maybe answer some questions, as well as I will answer your questions. And they can tell you how the course has benefited them in a lot of ways. GameStop starting to see some moves. AMC starting to see some moves. GameStop up 1.5% now. And if this thing curls up, that is a good sign. That is a good sign, and we will pay attention to that. So right when everything looks the darkest, right when the darkness is closing in, it's always darkest before the dawn, right? It could be. I would say this. If you get this to curl up and hold, then you do have potential, right? And then if you get, especially if you get this 2 hour or something to curl up, especially for, I'd say AMC needs to do it. But if you get these 30 minutes to curl up, it's a moment to pay attention, because look at this. The last time the 30-minute curled up was right in here, and positivity, right? We curl up right here, positivity. We curl up right here, positivity. So what would happen from here if it curls up? Well, potential positivity. If it's the moment, you're going to see it just go nuts. If it's not, then we're probably going to see the 30-minute roll back down. Oh, we sprayed some mayo on AMC already. GME, we didn't spray anything on. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it yet. Any feedback on Microsoft? I think that Microsoft, they really wanted to actually bounce today. I actually think they wanted to bounce that sucker today, and then it got some bad news, because if you get cyber attacked as a company, that is a very, very bad thing. Yet the market is saying that that's not that bad for Microsoft, and I think that that's just a total lie. But you do have a good setup here, which is why I think they wanted it to bounce. You see the downward move here, you see the divergence on the MACD, you see the divergence down here on the RSI at the same time. So the most likely scenario is this 2 hour is going to bounce up, but it is pointing down right now. So it's not technically the most likely just yet. You need that 2 hour to really cross up, take back this 9-day moving averages, this 9-day on the 2 hour, so 9 on the 2 hour. You need that to curl up. And then I think you got a good shot to go test something like 447 up in this area. And if you reject from there, it's not going to be pretty. Oh, it was a code bug issue? I thought it was a cyber attack. Yes, and exactly, Georgie. We have to take into consideration, I believe that this is going to be the third week of the month, right? So this is some big expirations this week. You are correct. Yeah, sure, Hector. Yeah, it's a code bug issue. Or was it a cyber attack that when they saw this thing start to drop, they said, no, it's just a code bug issue? A code bug issue. Interesting. Weirdly enough, Microsoft was a company that sued my dad when I was in high school. And they won. Weakening magnetic field in space, weather effects, communication systems. Yo, some of the stuff going on with NASA is crazy. It's like they're building tools that they say to scientists are going to be used for certain things, and then they have multiple uses. So yeah, last hour of trading. Usually OPEX is around like 30 minutes. Like you'll see a lot of craziness in the last hour, but the last 30 minutes of the day, we could see some crazy stuff. Why they sued is just something with his business structure was too similar to what Microsoft was doing with their software. So pretty much it was just something like that. I can't really remember exactly. I was young when it happened, but the big guy, I think it was over like I think the lawsuit was like worth maybe like I want to say like $100,000 or something. So it just shows how these big companies will just shut down the little guy at any time possible, and that's not pretty. Yeah, Jay, and I'll be live later today, just so everyone knows. So make sure to like the video as we are going live later today. And I actually might hop off pretty soon to go shower, get ready for lunch and things like that. Make sure I look cute for my day, you know? We might go to a movie, we might go bowling, we might go to the shooting range. I don't know. I need to decide. Is there a good movie out there? I always wanted to, we've been really wanting to see that Quiet Place, like the beginning or whatever. Of A Quiet Place. I thought that would be cool, and I'm a jumper. I get scared during movies, so it's fun. Super dip. Yeah. Did you see that, William? You think this market isn't a little messed up? You notice how we're seeing more and more weird things. Nvidia spiking to all of a sudden when it was at 1,000, it spiked to like 1,500 or something. Twister? Ooh, Twister is what I grew up with. You think Kansas? I'm in Kansas. Twister was a very popular movie here. You think they're bad lately? I think there's a lot of like kid movies coming out. That's what it seems like to me. I'm really wondering if Deadpool will be good. Go to the restaurant, then watch a movie, and finish up at the spa. Ooh, she would like that too much. You guys, she would like that way too much. You guys, we gotta keep her on her toes a little bit. Okay, we can't be giving her a spa day every month. Okay, we gotta keep her on her toes because then she's gonna expect it. You gotta make it an awkward amount. You give her a spa day 1 month, then 2 months later you give her another one, then 6 months later you give her another one. Keep her guessing. Well, shoot, I mean, hey, I'll tell you what, if AMC goes to $500, I'll take everyone to the spa. DJT for mid-November? Let's go look at DJT again real quick. Ooh, curling down 2 hours, so still in that pullback mode. So this is key here, is again, looking at DJT cross up, looking at that thing cross back down. You gotta know that that is negative at this point. Now for the 2 hour, remember this is better momentum, but the 2 hour was curling down saying pullback. So the fact that that 30-minute didn't get some steam behind it kind of tells you like, hey, this already did cross over, so that 2 hour momentum can take over. It's bigger than the 30-minute. So now you're looking for if that 2 hour can curl up at any time. That would be great. Time decay is your enemy. Yeah, time is always your enemy when it comes to options. Time is usually always your enemy, unless it's like, hey, I took the perfect little setup like this, and then I see that, and then the next day it makes that big move. Then you go, oh, time's my friend, because the value of that happened very quickly. So when it happens quickly, time's your friend. When it happens slowly, time's your enemy, right? How does Amazon look by end of day. Well, we want to pay attention to it because the 30-minute is starting to curl up. I think you're trying to get towards that center line. So if you go onto Patreon right now, I put out the daily expected moves for every stock that we cover every Friday, because on Friday we have those expirations, so we can give it out. So we do give that out on Patreon. We gave that out last night. And Amazon, we're noticing that the upside potential is another 5 points higher from here. So that would tell me if I get to this quickly, if I get up towards 188, 189 very quickly, then I need to say, okay, that's all that is expected for the day. There is options expiration, and that could just turn down over the weekend. So I would want to say by end of day, if that hits 188, anywhere in this type of area, I would say, hey, maybe I need to at least break even, take profit, some kind of thing, and leave some runners for next week. But for the most part, I would say that 188 looks pretty likely, and then you got to see if that turns back down on this MACD, because doing that would still probably leave you negative. And then if you just roll down something bad over the weekend, AMC and GME start to pop off, you can see some crazy stuff. But I just want you to notice real quick, GME not able to hold as of right now. Now you're pretty early on in this 30-minute bar, but as of right now, not crossing up. It easily could have crossed up with a decent move like that right there. That would have probably crossed up that MACD. AMC, same thing. You see it kind of flaggy in this area. So really still waiting for some confirmations here from these MACDs. All right, let's see if anything crazy is going on. Amazon is trending a little bit here, so let's go read what's going on with that. Amazon Prime Day, so they're really thinking about the Prime Day type narrative here. And it's saying Amazon was not affected by some of the internet issues going across the board, so we'll pay attention to it a little bit for Amazon. Let me get that on a darker screen. There we go. You see a Wyckoff? Like in the shorter term? Ah! I always have to do this when I do Wyckoff. I don't think it's like the perfect Wyckoff. Like it doesn't fully look like it to me, because this high right here. Then you do have the high. Like you would like this to be a little bit lower for this to really be the UT. And then you kind of skipped a step here. Then you start to fade down. So pretty much we're at the point for Wyckoff where you most likely do see something like that. And then if that proves to be a downturn, right? If you see this and then that turns down, I think you might have been right overall. It just doesn't look like the perfect setup for it, but I could see how you could see it there. It just looks like this here, because of this high, kind of ruined that a little bit. But I get you. Like I could kind of see how you can convince yourself. I don't see it. I think you're really begging to convince, because like you'd really like to see like this, see a pop, then go down again, see this go to a high, see that come back down into the channel, see that pop back up, and then you start to just fade over time like this, see a bounce like this, and then it's over, right? So that's more how you would want it to look. Something like this, where these kind of match, and it almost looks like a Head and Shoulders within it a little bit. It's just a very wonky Head and Shoulders too. Oh, like this itself is the UT. Yeah, I mean, whatever you're thinking, I mean, if it's working for you, that's all I would say. I don't necessarily see it, but I think a few others say they don't necessarily see it, but if you were convinced of that and you took the UTAD high, you think that this is that UTAD there, well, then this would be the initial drop, and maybe you're about to see that second pop. We'll see. Yeah, Reese is saying no way. I'm just not really seeing it very clear cut at all. And it's not my specialty, but, you know, I just look at this and I'm like, I don't really see the pattern in front of me. Tesla really dropping off here. So that direction, remember we said something big's happening. As of right now, the direction's down, still down. So that is your bigger move coming to light here. 2 hour not able to curl up. That thing's got to build back beta. It's really fallen. It's definitely not soaring, flying. What movie is that? Spy's done too. Okay, so now we're seeing a lot of people convinced of things, right? So let's see. These 30 minutes look like they could still see a bounce. Let's look at these 15 minutes, okay? So what we're gonna do is, because I have to hop off. It's already about 10:15, so I have to hop off, go get ready for lunch and everything like that. But this is a downward move. You are correct to call it out. Just watch out if this 15-minute turns up. I think that really changes the script a lot here if this can go positive. So really pay attention to that while I'm gone. Now I'm just going to be gone for a couple of hours, and then I will be back on this afternoon. Thank you so much, Short Fridays, for the donations. Thank you, Marina, for donating so I could look at a stock for you. I think those are very, very cool options there. And thank you to everyone who mentioned some stocks. I love those setups. I believe it was from William telling me about those daily setups, those swings he's trying to catch to the downside. And really, William, it looks like those stocks that you've pointed out, it looks like you might have taken the how to trade in any market kind of course. And I think that's freaking fantastic. So yeah, I believe that, Jagger. I think Nvidia maybe at the end, like towards next year, might end up down towards like $42 or I think it said $40 to $60 in there. I think that is actually potential to happen over the next couple of years. So we'll see how it plays out if those monthlies can turn over. But I overall just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining in the morning. We will be back for the afternoon, so make sure to have those notifications on. And I would say about 2 hours before close, make sure to come back to my channel, because some people are not receiving my videos and recommended. Some people aren't even receiving the notifications when they have notifications on. Very fishy, but I just wanted to let you guys know I will be live 2 hours before the close for that rest of the day, and we can see about these options closing out if we see any rigged behavior going on. So overall, just want to say thank you guys so much for joining. I look forward to streaming in just a little bit, and I hope you have a great day trading. Stay safe out there, manage your risk, and I will be back later on today, okay? I'll be back. I promise you, I'll be back. All right, see you guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace. GG. GG's in the chat. Hit subscribe, all. GG's in the chat. Oh yeah, check out those courses too. Yeah, Hustler has the right idea. That's what we're going for. Spend some time with the wifey. But that's a good idea too. Maybe take just a peek at those courses. You can read a little bit about them and things like that. Just make sure it's a good fit for you. But it's fit for any person just coming into the market to learn. I would just suggest if you're very, very new, you know nothing about indicators, start out with that $50 course. Very, very cheap. And then at the same time, you can learn some good stuff about the market. And then if you feel like it, hey, move forward, go into that next course right after. I think there's a lot of stuff to learn, and you can take all of it over the weekend. And I think you'd have some good knowledge there. So thank you guys for joining. I'll see you guys in just a few hours. Peace out.